Hello everyone, welcome to our HyperNation ecosystem presentation. We will introduce you now to our new coins, HyperNation Dollar HND and HyperNation Token HNT. Without further ado, let's get started. HyperNation serves as a unique community that propagates all values of utopian nation. Our economic consensus is based on the universal basic income, which focuses on transparency, fairness, and equality that can shelter you from the ignorance and violence that we face in our daily lives. HyperNation is in development to build its own public chain, where the technology is designed to support the entire metaverse. We aim to achieve high throughput, high scalability, as well as high availability through our public chain. Most consensus layers of public chains are based on a flat public chain design. HyperNation uses a two-layer design instead, whereby the top is in the consensus layer and the bottom part is in the storage and processing layer. When the consensus layer is separated from the storage processing layer, additional consensus will be built on top of the consensus. This is what we call multiple consensus. The consensus layer will be partaking the operation of consensus with nodes, as well as participating in the election of outgoing block nodes. The storage and processing layer functions as a cluster. The implementation of cross-chain technology is also one of our future aims. Some advantages of cross-chain technology includes principle of atomicity, the idea that having less is what is hard, but also what is valuable. Consistency between several interconnected blockchain. Distribution of networks across multiple platforms. HyperNation will also feature liquidity mining. Liquidity mining is the ability to convert a coin into other coins without changing its value. In the DeFi world, where there is no usage of middle person to connect buyers to sellers, liquidity holds a distinguished importance. Another interesting project in the works is HyperNation's very own DEX, built to be safe, transparent, and convenient. However, for the time being, while we are in the development of our public chain, trades will be made available on Swap. The process of ensuring asset control and transaction transparency will take time. So until then, we hope that you will stay tuned for its completion. Now, allow us to introduce you to our first coin, HyperNation Dollar HND. HyperNation Dollar is pegged to the US currency and will be maintained at 1-to-1 with the USD. 1 HND will always be equivalent to 1 USD. This is done through proof of consensus. What is proof of consensus, you might ask? It derives from the concept of proof of trust. Within the HyperNation's context, this can be achieved through the high degree of trust amongst HyperNation citizens. HyperNation strives to band its citizens together in order to build a consensus for a better society. The higher the consensus, the more stable HND is. Next, we have our second coin, which is HyperNation Token HNT. This is a governance and farming reward token and adopts the mechanism of proof of burn to release and maintain its circulating supply. Proof of burn is now a new concept, and in this context, burn-in is done through the disintegration of HNT and HND connectors. In simple words, the burn-in of HND tokens will increase HNT and thus solidify the value of the stablecoin. The HND demand will correspond within an integrated system called consensus point. Of course, the higher the consensus, the more stable HND is. The stability of HND will also override the utility of unstable and volatile tokens, as it is the deal for store of value and the maintenance of high speculative price. though HND has a better worth of value in demand due to its stability. Ideally, if the price of HNT increases higher, this will provide more recognition and can generate demands for people to join HyperNation. Our Universal Basic Income, UBI, is a derivative of consensus point and the HND distribution. The UBI is a concept of financial policy proposal, where citizens will receive a legally stipulated financial grants as part of the welfare system. The supply of HND will increase when there is an accumulation of consensus point, which will in turn increase the demand of UBI as well. The DAO system will allow citizens of HyperNation to have a vote of various legislation and regulatory proposals due to the existence of a governance token. The consensus points can be acquired by the following activities stated in this slide: social media outreach, HyperNation loggings, partake in HyperNation events. All of these can earn you consensus points. You contribute, you earn consensus points. As simple as that. Here is an example of HyperNation ecosystem, where UBI, HND, and consensus points interoperate with one another. The diagram shows how the whole process contributes to a sustainable UBI concept. When citizens participate in HyperNation, they earn points by contributing to the community based on the activities stated earlier. These consensus points will then increase HND and will act as the income to support the whole ecosystem of HyperNation. HND and HNT interrelates with each other. The relationship is such that HND and HND work together through the ecosystem and make the value and scarcity of HNT increase, thus also promoting the stable price of HND. In simple words, the consensus point will inflate the supply of HND, which will then be burned to mint HNT. HNT will be recycled back within the integrated consensus system. Lastly, as mentioned earlier, HyperNation strives to achieve a throughout and diversified ecosystem. Within HyperNation's diversified ecosystem, we can expect to see features such as purchasing real estate in the metaverse, attending live concerts and events, earning rewards through the gamification activities, just to name a few. These features will, however, be temporarily implemented using BEP20 on the Binance Smart Chain. This is only for a short while, as we are still in our development phase. Once we have launched, all the architectures and outcomes will be migrated to our public chain. Here you can see the roadmap of our upcoming plans within HyperNation. As we usher into the Q3 of 2022, we are happy to welcome you in this event launch, and we hope that you follow our social media channels to hear about the announcement of our coin listing soon. Once the coins are listed, we will reveal the liquidity mining future by Q4 this year. This should be very exciting to a lot of you, as you have more methods to monetize from our coins. By Q2 next year, we will have our white paper pre-launched, which will be followed by our yellow paper pre-launched in Q4 of 2023. As we mentioned earlier, our public chain is currently in development. As it will take some time, we hope to be able to reveal the cross-chain bridge by Q1 of 2024 and have the main chain launching towards Q3 of 2024. We aim to launch our public chain within this next 2 years. This will further solidify HyperNation's position as a fair and just nation, where its citizens will reap valuable benefits as part or thanks to you. By Q3 of 2025, we plan to release our first gamification feature, where citizens of HyperNation can buy, invest, and trade real estate within the HyperNation metaverse through our GameFi Monopoly Planet. This would further allow citizens to gain massive returns and increase UBI within HyperNation. Lastly, by Q1 of 2026, we aim to release HyperLab, our ultimate research and development center, which we hope to allow citizens of HyperNation to gain bigger opportunities within our ecosystem and increase the means of income further. We have a long and exciting journey ahead. We hope that you will stay tuned with us until each of these plans are fully realized to completion. Thank you for joining. We will see you in HyperNation.